Hey lovelies, welcome back. If you are new to my channel, hi, my name is Yasmin. Thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. And the fun fact for this video is that I love Doritos, every kind of Doritos, specifically just the nacho cheese ones, and I also like the salsa verde ones. Oh, those two are so good. So for today's video, it's pretty much a tutorial on this look. It's a very berry toned fall-esque type of vampy makeup that I wanted to show you guys, and it's all using all affordable makeup. The only one product I did that wasn't affordable was my eyebrows, but you guys can go ahead and use whatever you would like for your eyebrows. I just can't find anything dark enough, and I did dye my hair recently. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's like a soft black and I love it. And if I use a brown brow pencil, it'll look kind of odd with my really dark hair. So, but other than that, everything is drugstore and it's very affordable, and I wanted to make this tutorial as easy as possible for you guys and as affordable as possible. That way you guys can also achieve this look using much more affordable products. So yeah, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so to start off the look, I went ahead and did my eyebrows. This is probably the only thing that isn't super affordable in this video because I cannot find an eyebrow pencil that is dark enough for me, and I dyed my hair a few nights ago and it's a lot darker, so I thought it would look odd to have brown eyebrows and like really dark hair. But you guys can use whatever eyebrow pencil you guys would like. This is just the only thing that I'm going to add that is not affordable. So for concealer and to prime my eyes as well, I'm going to go ahead and use the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer. I use the shade C8 and I really like this concealer. It's very full coverage. I love the formula of this. It stays on, it blends very nicely, and I like the applicator as well. And I'm just going to apply it onto my face like I would. And I definitely recommend starting with your eyes first because I am trying to do a more smoky look, and I don't want too much fallout on my face because then that'll be a little hard to fix. So I'm gonna go ahead and blend it out with this little packer brush. It looks like this, something like this. That way I can also carve my eyebrows and prime my eyes at the same time. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, now that I have my eyes all primed, I'm gonna go in with the eyes now, and I'm gonna use my Morphe 35V palette. I know I've used this palette so many times, but it's my go-to palette for like so many looks. As you can see, there's so many different colors, and you can always use this Wet n Wild palette as well. It's the Nude Awakening, and it has like the plum colors and the black that I need as well. And it's cheaper, but I just thought I'd rather go into here because I don't really have a transition shade in this palette that I can work with. So I'm gonna start with this palette, and I'm gonna grab a blending brush. I'm gonna go in with the Morphe M441, and I'm gonna go ahead and pat some product. I'm gonna mix these two colors. I'm gonna put that all over my lid as like my transition shades. I'm just gonna start with this. I'm gonna add a little more to the lid as well. I'm gonna start with this, and then I'm gonna slowly increase the color. I just want a little something before I go in with the deeper colors. It's probably easier for some of you to set your concealer that you put on your eyelids with a setting powder. I think that'll be a lot easier to blend these out with, but me personally, I like not setting it. That way the shadows have a better impact, if that makes sense. That way it's a lot brighter. That's in my opinion, but if you find yourself kind of struggling blending, it would be better for you to just set your concealer before you go in with any eyeshadow. But I'm just kind of doing circular motions on my eyelid and kind of going windshield wiper, then circular motions, just making sure everything is very blended. Now I'm just gonna build up the color, and I'm gonna go in with the smaller blending brush. It's the Morphe M330, and I'm gonna go in with this shade right here. It's a purple, a darker magenta color. It's not super deep purple. I'm gonna go in with this first, and then once I get that blended out, we'll go in with this color here, which would be the main color outside. So I'm gonna go in with this light purple first. I mostly like to start at the outer edge first. That way I get most of the color out here. And then just kind of do circular motions, windshield wiper, and I'm blending outwards that way, not inwards, outwards. And I like to hold my brush at the very end. That way it's a little more blown out, not super precise, which is fine. Now that I got that purple shade all blended in, I'm gonna go in with that same brush, but this time I'm gonna go in with that darker purple, which was right here. I'm gonna add that all over the lid, kind of in the same spots where I added the other purple color. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Put a little too much on my brush. So I'm gonna dab some off really quick and carefully go in, starting from the outer corner and then blending it in, circular motions. It's okay if it's a little messy out here. That's why I like to do my eyes first before my face so I can clean it up. Do this first. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add some concealer because I wanna add this purple berry shade, which I think is just beautiful because it's so dark and so pretty. And I'm gonna use this L'Oreal Infallible eyeshadow, and it's the shade Smoldering Plum. They look like this. I talked about this before, and these are so good. I have so many colors. They're so amazing. So I wanna add some concealer before I add this shade onto my eyelids, just so it pops a little more and it has something to stick on. So I'm gonna go back in with the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer, add some on a little packer brush. This is the Morphe 421, and I'm gonna add some on there. Then just add a little bit of concealer. Nothing too crazy like a cut crease, just kind of add some a little bit here, about halfway towards my lid maybe. Let's just go for it. So the cutest thing ever just happened. One of my students, because I'm a teacher assistant, he came over to visit me and it was the super cutest thing ever. But then in that process, my concealer dried, so I need to re-add some concealer really quick. All right, now that I got the concealer on there, I just packed it on and then I blended the edges with my finger a little bit. And, oh, looks like one side has more than the other. It's fine. So I'm gonna go in with the eyeshadow. Looks like this, and it comes with this little cute thingy here to keep kind of, you know, it from drying out, I guess. And I'm gonna go ahead and go in with my finger. These are best used with the finger. I wouldn't really recommend using a brush, so I'm just gonna use my finger. And it's such a pretty color. It's like a deep, like, it's like a plum. It's so pretty. I love this color. And I'm just gonna pat it where I added the concealer. So I know it looks a little messy, but kind of to clean up these edges and make it a little more better, I guess. I'm gonna go with the smaller little blending crease brush. It's the Morphe M321. And I'm going with the darkest purple shade from that Morphe 35V and just kind of carve it in a way. That makes sense. I'm gonna go over that crease there. This ended up not being as I wanted it to be. So I think I'm gonna go in with the 35V palette and I'm gonna go in with that purpley plummy cranberry shade. I think it's a cranberry shade, and just tap it right on top of that color. Oh yeah, I like that better. So I'm mostly gonna tap this color. I mostly tapped it in the middle and I like that a lot better. That looks so much better once I did in the middle and kind of left the other pieces kind of dark. But I think I'm gonna darken up the sides a little more. So I'm gonna grab a different brush and I think I'm gonna dab a little bit of the black, just the smallest amount, just to darken it up a bit because I did want this to be kind of smoky. So I'm gonna find a brush and do that really quick. Okay, I'm gonna grab this little flat blending brush here and I'm gonna go a little bit with the black, just the smallest amount, and kind of build up the deepness that I want. I'm just gonna tap it in there and kind of blend it outwards. I'm gonna try blending out a little more with the smaller blending brush from Real Techniques. This is such a handy little brush if you guys don't have it yet. It's super small, pretty for precise blending, so I like it a lot. All right, I'm gonna move on from the eyes. This is pretty much how I would like it to look. It doesn't look too bad. I like it. It's very smoky. I am gonna smoke it out a lot more when I get to the lash line, but I wanna do that after I have my face on. So I'm gonna start with my face, and where's my primer? All right, I'm gonna be using two different primers today. I'm gonna be using, they're both from Maybelline. They're the Master Prime primers. I love these primers so much. I'm gonna be using the Hydrating Primer, and I'll also be using the Blur and Redness Control Pigment. I'm gonna use this one towards the middle of my face because I do have redness in the middle of my face, and also I'm gonna use the Hydrate and Smooth one everywhere else. So I'm gonna do those real quick. I haven't used this primer in a while. I don't know, I haven't really been into primers much lately, but I'm definitely gonna add some today because the primers are good. I've just been kind of lazy to add primer, and I feel like it does make a difference, especially if you use the right primer for your skin and what your skin needs. I think they're really great, but you know, oh, see, I love this so much. Now for foundation, I'm using my most trusted Maybelline Super Stay Full Coverage Liquid Foundation, and I'm again in the shade Classic Ivory. And I'm going to be using my Equal Tool sponge. This sponge has been used and abused. It's already ripping, it's got stains. It's just, I've used and abused this a lot. And this sponge is only $5. It's so soft, so squishy. It's so affordable, by the way, and it blends my makeup so nicely. So go ahead and add that. I'm just gonna shake this up. One of my favorite foundations ever. I do recommend the Matte and Poreless as well from Maybelline. It's also a really great foundation. I just find this a lot better because it has more coverage. The other one, the Matte and Poreless, does have like medium coverage and you can build it up, but me personally, I like this one a lot more. I feel like it gives me a lot more coverage. So I just kind of squirt some on there, and I use like one pump for like each side. So I like full coverage, if you guys didn't notice. So I'm just gonna dab some there, forehead, a little bit down here, and I'm just going to blend this out. I try not to pounce too hard because I feel like it won't blend the foundation as well if I'm bouncing a little too hard. And without rubbing, I'm kind of just bouncing it, if you guys can see that. But I can already tell it's already covered a bit. Then of course for concealer, I'm going back with Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define. And I'm just going to apply it like so. Some spots I usually apply concealer. Oh, I feel like that was a lot. For me personally, I don't really like to highlight with concealer. I kind of just like to get concealer that's really close to my skin tone. That way it like looks like I have extra coverage. Does that make sense? So this one's just, I think, a tad bit lighter on my skin tone, but not too crazy much. Now going back in with that Equal Tool sponge, I'm gonna go ahead and use the little smaller slant side. I'm just going blending out. What I really like this sponge is that you can like manipulate it a little bit, like if you want to do just like that side like that, or if you want to get into corners. It also has this side. It's just like this is a great sponge. I just need to get a new one because mine is so abused. It's so bad. Now that I got that on there, I'm gonna go in with my Maybelline Fit Me Loose powder, and I have the shade Fair Light. I like to shake it downwards, that way I make sure that there's some powder under there. Just kind of lift it, and I usually have some in the cap here. And I've kind of been powdering a little different. I use a different powder on the daily, but this one's my older one that I used to use. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the other side of the sponge. I'm going to dab some here, and this is when it's gonna get a little different. So I like to put powder underneath my eyes. Kind of make sure that my concealer is increased. Just kind of pat it in there a little bit. And then I go in my other eye. Pat it in. It's okay if you put a little too much. I mean, don't get too dry there. And then after this other eye, I go in with more powder, and I put a crap ton of powder on my nose because I get so oily on my nose real quick. So it's gonna look a little crazy, but my whole nose is oily, all of it, and it's driving me insane. I'm gonna look like a little bit of a crackhead right now, but it's fine because it'll keep my oils in. And I also get oil right here on my forehead. Not too far up, but like right here. And I add a little more if I need to. I do kind of pat this in, but I make sure not to tap it too much because I kind of want it to bake, but kind of not, if that makes sense. Kind of want to let the powder kind of sit there for a minute. And then I'm gonna grab a fluffy brush, kind of like this. And I'm gonna dip this brush into this cap, and this is what I use to powder the rest of my face because the rest of my face isn't oily, it's kind of dry. So I just kind of tap it and kind of blend this way. Kind of tap and then blend outwards like this. Then after I powdered the rest of my face, I just take the same brush and kind of sweep over the parts where I had a lot of powder, like my nose and underneath my eyes, my forehead. Just kind of take off the excess powder. Now that I have my face powder on, I'm gonna go ahead and spray really quick. That way my face powder can sink into my skin so nothing else weird happens. This is a new bottle of the Morphe Continuous Settings Mist. Just gonna spray a little bit, that side, and that side. I'm just gonna let that sink in for a minute and grab my little card here. Alright, now for bronzer, I'm gonna be using the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in the shade Bronzer. There is a light bronzer, but I feel like it's too light for me, so I'm gonna go in with this one. I'm just gonna grab a brush like this. It's a Real Techniques brush. It's really old. I don't even know if they sell it anymore, but I'm just gonna go ahead and bronze up my skin, kind of hold it at an angle like this. That way it kind of contours at the same time. So, add that. Make sure you're brushing upwards. Get into that hairline. That way our bronzer kind of looks a little more natural, kind of like a bronze from within type of thing. Bring it down the chin. Make a little bit. I know, I'm like super... My chest is always so much lighter than every part of my body. I don't know why. Maybe because I don't really show my chest because I don't really have one. Huh? Now for blush, I'm taking my Milani Baked Blush in the shade Rose de Oro. Just gonna add some of that. I love this blush. I'm not really a blush person either, but this one is so pretty. Now for a highlight, I don't want to do anything too intense. You most definitely can do a more intense highlight. You can probably use a Maybelline Master Chrome highlighter, wet your brush, and then go in with this highlighter. That'll be really intense. But I want to go a little more of a lighter highlight, and I'm going to use the Milani highlighter, and it's the Strobe Light in the shade 03, which is Sun Glow. I like this highlighter because it's not super intense, but it still gives you some sort of a glow, if that makes sense. So I'm going to use kind of like this is an eyeshadow brush, but I'm just going to take this and take a dab. And I like to start here and start blending it in circular motions. I know it's going to highlight so much of my texture. I have so much texture on this side of my face, but it's fine. Blend a little bit, blend it out, and then I'm gonna take a little bit and just hit the forehead, just a teensy weensy bit. Do the same on this side. All right, time to move on to the lower lash line now that I got my face done. So I'm gonna grab a blending brush. Let me see which one. All right, I'm gonna grab this little blending brush. I got it with my Lunar Beauty palette a while ago, and it's a blending brush, but it's a little more tapered and it's kind of long. And I just wanted to kind of smoke out my lower lash line. So I'm gonna grab the two purple shades that I had used earlier and just kind of blend them together, and maybe a little more, and add that to my lower lash line. I'm going to add a little bit of the black in there as well, just mostly towards the outer part of the eye. And smoke it on, and starting on the outer part and smoke it on. And now for the inner corners of my eyes, I'm going to take this other small pencil crease brush. It's another Morphe 321, which I used earlier to kind of carve out my eyelid. And I'm going to go in with this other pink shade right in here. It's a little pink purpley color, and I'm going to use that in my inner corners, just like that, just to brighten things up here. Like that. Okay, I know this eye look must look really weird right now because I'm not wearing lashes or anything, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop on some mascara really quick. And the mascara I'll be using is my L'Oreal Lash Paradise mascara, which is like my favorite. And then I'm gonna pop on some Ardell Wispies. I'm gonna go find them really quick so I can show you which ones. I'm gonna pop on these. These are the Ardell 252 Mega Volume Lashes. They look like this. They look super voluminous, and I think that's what this look calls for. So I'm gonna pop that on, add a quick line of eyeliner, pop these on, and what else? Oh, and I think that'll be it. And then I'll be back to show you what lip combo I'm going to add with this. All right, while my lashes are finishing drying on my eyeballs, I'm gonna go with my lip, and the lip that I chose is from Physicians Formula, and it's the Healthy Lip. This is a velvet finish lipstick. I was trying to find my matte ones, but I couldn't find one, but I really like this color. It was closest to the dark plum that I wanted, and ironically, it's called Nourishing Plum is the shade name. So I'm gonna apply these. I have a couple of these. I love the packaging and I love the formula of these. They're so nice and really comfortable. I'm gonna put this on really quick. All right guys, that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you guys liked the look. I actually like the way it came out. It's very vampy, but very sultry and dark and very holidays, you know, type of vibe for me. I really like it, and I love that it was pretty much using all affordable makeup, all drugstore makeup. I want to make sure I add a lot of drugstore makeup. I mean, I do anyway. I love drugstore makeup. Whoops. I love drugstore makeup. There's a lot of great stuff in the drugstore. Like, do not feel like there's only crappy stuff at the drugstore. Like, there's great things at the drugstore, as I've probably shown you guys. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought. Hit the like button if you guys like this video or like these type of tutorials in general. I'd be happy to do more tutorials for you guys. And also don't forget to hit the subscribe button before you leave. I do post videos every Sunday at 10 a.m. just for you guys. And that's Nevada time, by the way. I live in Nevada, so I do it under Nevada time. I keep dropping everything, just to let you guys know. Whoops. Anyways, that is pretty much everything from me. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. It's like, it fills my heart with so much joy when you guys watch my videos and comment and all that. So it makes me really happy. And yeah, I think that's everything from me, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye!